goes to Hudson. Hudson, we're not playing basketball. We're live right now. Can you please go sit down? No, no more. David, go sit down.
I'm gonna be nice to Hudson. Everyone should be sitting with their teachers, and let's have everybody move towards. Let's have everybody move towards the middle of their section with their teachers, so that we can make room for incoming classes. We need to try to push together to get some free space for incoming classes. We still have quite a few before we go.
Yeah, I'm going.
I don't like this.
Let's just ditch the other half. Don't know where to go.
Don't like this.
I'm trying to squeeze up there.
At 0, all your voices should be off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, Cougars. Please quietly take a seat while Miss Yeomans does her tone setting. Good morning, Cascade Cougars. You did a great job coming in. Thank you for sitting with your classes. Thank you, teachers, for sitting with classes in the bleachers as well. This morning, we are going to have a serious assembly. It is our MLK assembly, which means our Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. assembly. He was a remarkable historical figure. He led a really important movement that still affects us today. So we want to make sure that we're really listening and we're finding out about all of the potential that he fulfilled. And we want to do this by acting like champions. So everybody needs to be safe. You did a great job coming in. Please hold on to the handrail in the bleachers. Please make sure your stuff is not touching or bothering anyone. Please make sure you're looking with your eyes and you are not tripping on anybody's stuff as you exit the bleachers today. Also, we want to be respectful. So right now you're doing a fantastic job. When the speaker's speaking, you want to be listening. There will be times to applaud, then there will be times to get quiet really quickly. So when you hear the countdown from 5 or 3, we're counting down to 0. That means our voice is going down to 0 and our voice is off. And then we want to make sure that we're being responsible. So please make sure your electronics are away just like we're in the classroom. We want to engage in learning. So make sure electronics are off and away and that you are taking care of yourself. So thank you for acting like a champion. And thank you for making this assembly successful already. At the end of our assembly, I will be dismissing you by section. Again, this is part of being safe in here. So you need to remain seated with your class and teacher in your row until I say this section is dismissed. And when we go section by section and we follow directions like that, it'll go really fast. Okay, and I'm going to turn it back over to ASP.
What is the definition of racism?
Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their color of their skin or ethnicity.
What is the definition of discrimination?
Treating people differently from others. Discrimination can be any characteristic on a person.
We are gathered here today to honor and remember Martin Luther King Jr. I'm sure we all know who Martin Luther King Jr. is, or at least have heard of him. He was an incredible man, father, preacher, and activist. What he is most known for, though, is being one of the main leaders in the fight for equal rights. So let's all be respectful and try to take in what all of the speakers are saying. Thank you.
Martin Luther King Jr. did a lot of great things in history. Some of them were, in 1964, he won a Nobel Peace Prize for his acts in the campaign against racism. He was awarded the Spingarn Medal for his leadership of the Montgomery bus boycott. Martin Luther King Jr.'s also best-spoken speeches were, "I don't want to go to Vietnam," and "I have a dream." That also made it to the Hall of Fame in 2007. Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife, Coretta Scott King, were both awarded the Congressional Gold Medal for their efforts passing the Civil Rights Act of 1964. But these are the wonderful and amazing things Martin Luther King has done for us in world history.
Martin Luther King Jr. has said many things, but I chose two that I think are really important. The first thing that he has said is, if darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. If you don't know what the quote is about, it's basically saying, don't fight fire with fire, don't fight with violence with violence, fight with kindness, and things will turn out better. The second thing he has said is, make a career of humanity, commit yourself to the noble struggle for equal rights. You will make a better person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, and a final world to live in. The quote is basically saying, help this nation fight for good, and you'll become a better person. I hope you remember these quotes in your everyday life. I hope these quotes help you to do the right thing. MLK was a man who treated terribly and judged his whole life just because of the color of his skin. MLK had a dream for a better future for people of color, and his dream came true. On January 15, 1929, Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia, the son of a Baptist minister. MLK was mistreated his whole life. He had a dream to make a better life and world for all people of color to live in. MLK delivered his famous speech, I Have a Dream, and 250,000 people gathered outside the Lincoln Memorial to hear the stirring speech. And he did more than just give the I Have a Dream speech. He organized a million-man march, and his death helped bring an end to the strike, to the Memphis sanitation strike, and he was known for organizing nonviolent protests. People of color have had many struggles and successes throughout the decades, and here are some of their stories.
In the summer of 1955, 14-year-old African-American Emmett Till had gone on a vacation from Chicago to visit his family in Money, Mississippi. He was shopping at a store owned by Roy and Caroline Bryant, and someone had said he possibly whistled at his friend, a white woman. At some point around August 28th, he was kidnapped, beaten, shot in the head, had a large metal fan tied to his neck with barbed wire, and was thrown to the Tallahatchie River. His body was soon recovered and an investigation was opened. It took fewer than 4 weeks for the case to go on trial. Roy Bryant and his half-brother, J.W. Miller, were accused of the murder. An all-white, all-male jury acquitted the both of them. No one else was ever indicted or prosecuted for the involvement of kidnapping or murder. Bryant Miller, though later confessed and told the magazine journalists all the grisly details of their crime, they are both now long deceased. Although justice has not been served in this case, the tragic murder helped galvanize a group of civil rights movement in this country for the 1950s and beyond.
In 1955, Rosa Parks was arrested for sitting on a bus. As in many cities in the South, the buses in Montgomery, Alabama were segregated. Black people had to sit at the back. If a white person wanted to sit, a black person had to give up his or her seat. On December 1st, Rosa refused to get up. She was arrested. Many claimed Rosa was just tired, but she was a member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP. It was a deliberate protest. Her arrest caused a bus boycott in Montgomery. The boycott lasted for more than a year. A federal court and the Supreme Court ruled against segregated buses. Rosa's actions inspired many other battles against unfair laws.
Harriet Tubman was known for helping out slaves escape from hard times. She was born into slavery in Maryland, Eastern Shore in 1822. Tubman successfully escaped with Philadelphia due to the slave town. Once free, she became an operator of the Underground Railroad, a secret network of people, places, and routes that provided shelter and assistance to escaping slaves. She courageously returned to Maryland at least 13 times over the course of a decade to rescue her parents, brothers, families, and friends, guiding them safely to freedom. By 1860, Tubman had earned the nickname Moses for liberating so many enslaved people at greater risk of her own life. Her own life. During a 10-year span, she made 19 trips into the South and escorted over 300 slaves to freedom.
The story behind Ruby Bridges. Ruby Bridges was born September 8, 1964. She was the oldest out of 5 children. Her parents are Lucille and Obama Bridges. She was born in Tylertown, Mississippi. At the age of 4, her and her family moved to New Orleans for better work opportunities for her parents. At the age of 6, Ruby Bridges advanced the cause of civil rights in 1960 when she became the first African-American student to enter an all-white elementary school. The amount of people that took time to go protest to tell her awful things and spit on her
tell her she was going to get poisoned and more. The school administration even separated her from all the other students because the school administration thought the students would be scared. But that was the story of Ruby Bridges.
I will touch this morning with the man. Sad with the man, sad, freedom. I will touch this morning with the man.
had to overcome. But we can't forget about the success they have had as well. People of color have triumphed in all areas of life. Business, sports, science, and literature are just a few. Here are 3 of their stories.
Angela Bassett is an African-American actress who starred in many award-winning shows and movies. She was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actress. Angela also played Rosa Parks in The Rosa Parks Story and got nominated for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress. She's also now a producer and director. She has starred and directed 54 films. Angela also funds the Boys and Girls Club of America, the Human Rights Campaign, and Habitat for Humanity.
Jordan Lucilla Elizabeth Childs is an American artistic gymnast. She represented the United States at the 2020 Summer Olympics and won silver medal. She was in the team event. She was a member of the team that won gold at the 2020 World Championship. She was born April 15, 2021. She is 21 years old. Her parents are Gina Childs and Timothy Childs, and she lives in Tualatin, Oregon. She is a hometown girl, and she went to Prairie High School and practiced at Natividad. Jordan has come a long way from where she was, but it's amazing to know that she grew up here.
Angie Thomas. Angie Thomas was born in 1988 in Jackson, Mississippi. She grew up in an economically depressed African-American neighborhood and was exposed to gun violence at an early age. As a teenager, she was interested in hip-hop as a form of expression. She received a bachelor's degree on creative writing at BU in Jackson. The Hate You Give grew out of a short story wrote by Thomas in 2009. The book tells the story of a 16-year-old girl, African-American, named Star Carter that lived in a poor neighborhood but went to a posh white school in the suburbs. She wants to fit in with everyone, but often feels alone and invisible. One night, when her and her friend Khalil are driving home from a party, they get pulled over by a white police officer. The police officer ends up shooting and killing the unarmed Khalil while Star watches. Star has a choice to stay quiet or use her voice to try to combat the racism and prejudice she encounters. Her book sold over 3.5 million copies and translated into 35 different languages.
Next up, I'd like to introduce an inspirational speaker, Tyler Monk, a wonderful man with wonderful speeches. He is the founder of Underdog Mentality, and he's back here to inspire you guys with his words.
Well, all right. Well, I want to make sure that we recognize these young folks up here that coordinated this, that came out here and spoke. It's a lot of fear that goes into public speaking, and to speak with passion, to speak with truth and honesty and love. I want to give these young folks all up here and give them some love. Clap it up, here. Clap it up. Well, since y'all are recording this, I'm going to have to stay right here. You can move? Okay. Because I don't like to stand behind podiums because I feel like it kind of creates a barrier. Well, wow. I had a totally different talk in my car before I came in. And I think I'm going to switch it up. I want to say 3 things to you. I want to say these things, and I want you to always remember these 3 things. If you take nothing else away from this talk today, remember these 3 things. You have potential, you have a vision, and you have a dream. Let me say it again. You have potential, you have a vision, and you have a dream. Let me say this. When it comes to life, and as I was watching this video, and honestly, I'm gonna be transparent with y'all. I'm really glad that my young lady, who was the one that came up right after the video? Where you at? Came up and talked after the video? Okay, you were the first one to come up after the video? There was another person that came up. Okay, you came up after the video, and you highlighted the incredible things that black folks have done, right? That's so important, right? I think what's portrayed out there is that you see the struggle is real. There's a lot of challenges being a person of color, being a black folk. A lot of barriers that come with that. But to highlight that there's doctors, there's educators, there's athletes, there's entertainers, there's investors, there's incredible parents. We need that to be highlighted. We need that to be showcased. And I just want to give y'all a glimpse into the reality of this. I'm 38 years old. I have 6 children. I've got a lot of children. I got a lot of babies. Yeah, me and my wife got kids. 4 together, and then we have 2 nieces together. But I want you to understand something. I'm 38 years old. The videos that you were just watching, the civil rights movement, this is just about 16 years before I was born. This is not like 400 years ago. My dad was a teenager when these things were going on. Your grandparents were full-blown adults. Most of them, I mean, I gotta backtrack because y'all are really young, so maybe not. They're probably, now that I think about it, they're probably the same age as my parents. But you gotta think about this. This was not that long ago. And how do we get from there? And there's been so much growth, but there's still so much work to do. I believe that there's this word called empathy. Okay? Does anybody out right here, maybe? Right here, since y'all have been leading this whole thing? When you hear the word empathy, what does that mean to you? Anybody want to share? Okay, I'm going to pass you the mic.
Putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Claire.
Let's give it up for Claire. Give it up for Claire. Good job, Claire. Empathy means putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. Has anybody ever had to do that? I mean, not like physically. Well, I know I used to trade shoes with my homies because I was broke and I needed some shoes. But I'm talking like, metaphorically speaking, like just trying to put yourself in somebody else's position and see where they're coming from. Has anybody ever done that? Okay, hands down. I'm going to challenge you, especially for my adults if you didn't raise your hand, because I'm a full participant. If you've never taken the time to look at life through somebody else's lenses, I think you're tripping. Yeah. You got luggage with you, you can't wait to start tripping. You tripping. Life is about empathy. Life is about seeing perspective just outside of your world. Do you understand what I'm talking about right now? What's empathy? There's 3 things that come with empathy. Okay? It's a proximity. Proximity means closeness. Empathy comes from a closeness in time, so spending time with people that might not agree with you or might not think like you, spending time with them, building relationships, or just being in an environment with them. And what I know to be true, I'm just looking around this room, there's a ton of diversity as far as ethnicities go, genders, however you identify. I can already tell there's so much diversity in here. But are we really spending the time to understand where other people are coming from? This is what I believe we lack in our world today, is a level of empathy. Because you think everything's about you. Guess what? It's not. You think everybody's thinking about you. Guess what? They're not. They're thinking about how messed up their situation is. Anybody in the last 2 years had a messed up situation at any point in time in their life? We can all relate to that, right? And if you didn't raise your hand, we all going to come interview and ask you, how'd you make it through? How'd you spend 2 years not having no challenges, no barriers? What? I need the secrets. So I'm here to speak life into you because I love what I get to do. You see, I'm blessed because I've been able to live into my dreams. I've been able to start living into some of my potential. Raise your hand. Has anybody ever told you you have potential in something in life? Something in life. Okay? Hands down. Hey, if you didn't raise your hand, get new friends. Love them from a distance. What are you talking about, Tyler? You're kicking it with the wrong people. Hello. You better be spending time with people that believe in you. Why would you want to be spending time with people that are bringing you down, that are negative, that don't encourage you? You can love them from a distance, but don't invest so much of your time in people that don't believe in you, because you'll start believing those things to be truth in your life. You see, look, y'all are what, 12 to 14, I'm assuming? Okay? 6th, 7th grade, hand of 6th graders. 6th graders, raise your hand. 7th grade. So we got mostly 8th graders in here, I'm assuming. Okay. Here's the reality. What I'm talking to you about right now, the game I'm trying to give you, is something that's going to smack you in the face like a ton of bricks when you're 25 years old. Right now, it might be in this ear and out the other, but I'm here to challenge you. You see, I am not a motivational speaker. I'm an inspirational storyteller and a challenging conversationalist. I'm here to get in your face and tell you that you deserve more than what you're doing. You are more than what you're doing. You have what it takes to live into your greatness, to have dreams, to live into your potential, to create the things in life that you want to see. You see, because everybody wants to improve their situation. We want better relationships, better money, better education, more success in our life, but very few people are willing to look inside and change themselves. Therefore, they remain stuck in the same place. How do I know this, Tyler? Because they're on my Instagram and Facebook timeline complaining. Because they didn't take investigation into what they can change. Okay, I'm going to share a little quick story and I'm going to wrap up. I call this story the thermostat and the thermometer. Now, what's the difference between the thermostat and a thermometer? You see, a thermometer is when you get sick, your parents, granny, your auntie, whoever taking care of you, and let me take your temperature, and they put the little thing in your mouth, it reads the temperature. Whatever that temperature reads won't change. It is what it is. You cannot change that. It just gauges the temperature that is in that situation. Now the thermostat, this is something where you can go, you got one of these in your house, you can go and you can go adjust. Say, okay, it's 65 degrees in here, it's kind of cold, let me turn the heat up. Or in the summer, man, it's really kind of hot, let me see, I can maybe turn the AC down. You can change the temperature. Who are you gonna be in life? I believe there's two types of humans. For me, it's very black and white with this. You either are gonna show up in this world and you're gonna be a thermometer where you just let the situations and the narratives and the circumstances that are in your life control how you operate. Anybody ever had some sucky situations? Yeah. I grew up in all of it. I grew up in poverty. I grew up in a house that was there was a lot of abuse. There was absentee parenting. I had to figure it out. But I always had this deep in my mind, even though I was tripping, getting suspended from school, failing every class, I had an attitude, I always knew deep down that I could be that thermostat, that I could change the narrative at some point. I wasn't mature enough and I wasn't ready quite yet. But when I made that decision, I never looked back. So are you gonna be a thermometer and just walk in and be like, oh, it is what it is, can't nothing change, and complain about it? Or are you gonna be that thermostat and say, I can change my circumstances and my situation to live into my best potential? Okay, I'm gonna leave you with a quote and then we're gonna do this fun activity and I really need y'all to lean in heavy. So the quote is this: potential. Potential is a present, but not yet visible excellence or ability that's just yet to be developed. It's a greatness within you. You see, potential is a present, but not yet visible excellence or ability that is yet to be developed. What are you going to do about that? Okay, let me put this mic down because it's kind of scuffly and I want to make sure you hear me. Can everybody hear me? Okay, this is what I want you to do. Repeat after me. And I need y'all to lean in heavy. I need to be silent. I have potential. I'm gonna hit y'all with the Steph Curry. Go 9-9. Yeah, come on. Let's do it again. Here we go. I have potential. I have vision. I have a dream. I have potential. I have a vision. I have a dream. Much love. That's my time. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Broken down inside, living life on a merry-go-round. You can find the fire, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Ooh, mountain, we gon' walk it out. Ooh, mountain. I'll rise up like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise up and fight. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times Silence is quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take a word to his feet and move mountains into his feet. Move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up and fight. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. All we need, now we have each other. Now we have each other. We will rise, we will rise, we will rise.
Thank you, Conlon, for that wonderful, inspirational speech, and thank you, Jackie, for that song. I'm going to be passing the microphone to Ms. Yeomans to dismiss you guys.
Yeah, one more big round of applause. ASB, Mrs. Rentrap, Mr. Miller, Jackie's amazing solo, and your awesome behavior. All right, okay. Here's the last part. That was a fantastic assembly. Way to act like champions. Now, don't prove me wrong here. stay seated until your section is dismissed. We are going to start with this section closest to the door. This section only should stand up, look out for backpacks, do not trip, and exit this way, please.
What's up, how y'all doing? So you just gonna come out here and just do that?